YouTube, and welcome back one and all this evening for Christian part 29. Now, I do again apologize for the mishap we had, the things that went down during the very end of part 28. Hopefully, I'll have things sorted out by the I'll have things sorted out, but relatively shortly. It's been a long day, and all I want now is just to sit back and enjoy. So, if you guys want to check out the original video, you know what to do. Let's begin part 29 in 3, 2, 1, and that is it. The bloody there we go. I could just fall asleep.
What made him this way? What is the attraction? What keeps us fascinated? This is the story of Christian.
Sorry about that. Oh, there it is. I think the quality sort of like improved. Part 29.
On the 4th of July, 2010, a person living in Charlottesville who knew of Christian went to McIntyre Park to observe the Independence Day celebratory firework display.
Oh.
He happened to see Chris there as well and watched him closely. According to the witness, Chris did not wear anything distinct, nor was he wearing his Sonichu medallion. Occasionally, he would take out his Nintendo DSi and presumably get a better look at people around him through the DSi's built-in camera and a fixed zoom lens. He was then seen carrying out a task reminiscent of his Red String of Fate ploy. The witness noted his observations. I saw him scribble on something, wrap it around what I think he picked up was a rock, and threw it at this woman. I don't think it hit her, but she seemed startled. She picked up whatever he threw, opened up the paper he had written on, looked at him, and shook her head. She then turned and went on her way. 2 days later, Christian resumed emailing Jackie, exposing his true emotions. I'm doing okay. I get lonely sometimes, the whole not having a girlfriend thing and whatnot, and I've gone out and try again to meet new people, but I still get held back with fear of rejection keeping me from approaching women, and I still have my mental hang-ups against the majority of the male population. The trolls were not much help either. I have few friends/acquaintances in real life, and I refuse to start any new relationships over the internet. I feel paranoia over that as well. Without my need to see a far distance.
If you have paranoia, Chris, then why are you even still using OkCupid and dating websites? You don't seem to have much of a problem there. Also, again, a thought just came into my mind over like the last few minutes. What would you guys say if I made a super cut of all the parts that I did, 1 to? Well, I think obviously part 1 will have to be refilmed, but I reckon there's something that could be tried and done.
Glasses, I know that I have a handsome face. If there really are any single women in Seaville, I feel they would have seen me and at least say hey. But I'm constantly noticed in public. It makes me feel sad knowing that I am invisible even in the mass public events I've been hanging around in, such as the local Fridays after 5. Obviously, I need people to come to me and they make first contact, because even with my drunken word vomit shouts, I'm still invisible. My adult life sucks. Jackie sympathized with him and informed him that she will be visiting Charlottesville in August and wanted to arrange a meetup. Chris suggested that they meet either at the Fashion Square or the downtown mall. On July 9th, the person who spotted Chris in McIntyre Park on Independence Day saw him again at Fridays after 5. This time, he had taken the DSi zoom lens off his device and was using it as a telescope to look at other people.
Oh boy.
He also had this habit of taking off and putting on his sunglasses within seconds of each other. It seemed like he paid more attention to what was going on around him than what was happening at the concert. At one point, I noticed a girl.
Well, again, looking like that, you could probably work out why.
Who looked like she was probably still in high school, jump up on the ledge beside Chris to join a group of friends who happened to be stationed behind the man baby. In the process, Chris turned to her, and it looked like he said something to her, because immediately her facial expression changed from a legit happy one to a forced smile one. She joined up with her friends and they immediately huddled up together, whispering about something. At the same time, they all looked up at Chris and laughed. I can only imagine what he had said to the poor girl. A few moments later, one of the guys in the group picked up his cell phone and snapped a picture of Chris from behind. Maybe he's aware of who Chris is and will share his story somewhere. At that point, whether or not Chris realized they were making fun of him, he picked up his stuff and switched seating spots. The person managed to take a photo of Chris sitting on the grass. He was snapped carrying 3 Pokewalkers with him, which are Pokemon accessories that allow players to gain experience and catch other Pokemon the more they walk. He also seemed to be holding a folded piece of paper. 2 days later, as Jenkins Jinkies, Chris asked Clyde Cash on the Quickie about the prostitutes that were called to his house in March 2009, inquiring about the agency to which they belonged, hinting at wanting to call them up himself. Clyde failed to divulge any relevant information and proceeded to state how weak and weak-willed Chris was. On July 13th, Jenkins Jinkies advertised Chris's new Mod Nation Racers custom-made racetrack on the Quickie. He has his beta track up, as well as some actually neatly created Hot Wheels vehicles. He locked a couple of them. The man-child must have favorited those 2 cars from his collection. Lol, his track is lengthy and confusing, but I managed to run some laps on it. And he added a good version of the park with a fountain and a beach. Download his beta quickfill track for the laughs of using the defaulted beta tools. On July 15th, Christian went to TGI Fridays for a meal and some drinks. He recalled his experience to an online gal pal portrayed by Kim Wilson. I went out to Fridays for a drink Thursday evening. Made 2 new friends, a 22-year-old pretty woman who's going through a divorce currently, Lucky, and her best male friend. I also made a friendship with the owner of Fridays. I got a bit loud in the main drunk part, but she was a nice woman. The next day, Chris once again attended Fridays after 5. He was seen by a different troll who made an account of what he saw. He was wearing a bright orange sleeveless shirt with what looked like a beer logo on the back and holding a Budweiser aluminum bottle, a little mini fan made to look like an iPod, and a hula hoop for some reason. Most importantly, he had a sort of basic attraction sign with him. Nothing elaborate or directly sexual, but it said something like friendly and flirty man zone or something similar to that, and with more smaller text under that I couldn't make out. He apparently made himself aware to Chris directly, but nothing came of their interaction. Christian later wrote about the encounter himself in an email to Jackie. I should have gone after him in pursuit, but the only plan I had programmed in my head in response is take their picture with my DSi. I have reprogrammed my mind to pursue after lure, yell for a policeman, and have him arrested for taking photographs at the pavilion during Fridays after 5. On their triangular red column, they have a rules list, which includes no cameras or videotaping are permitted. I am positive I'll lure out the same guy from last Friday. I only got a brief look at his face, but I am positive I'd recognize him on future sight. He also informed her about his Jenkins Jinkies alias, and was convinced that the trolls did not suspect him to be Chris at all. In response, Jackie told him that she thought the same, and directed his attention to a message left by Quickie user K9, in which he invited Jinkies to join the so-called inner circle of the trolls, which would apparently allow him access to the administrator passwords for Encyclopedia Dramatica and the Quickie. In addition, Clyde Cash and the Inner Circle claimed that they needed Jenkins Jinkies' help with their next trolling endeavor, which involved getting Christian's PlayStation 3 taken away from him to pay off his credit card debts. As part of the application process to join the Inner Circle, he would have to make a video stating why he hated Christian and give an account of his past trolling adventures. In the event that Chris himself might find the video, Jinkies was permitted to cover his face to protect his identity. Christian later showed the Jenkins Jinkies talk page to his church's reverend, Elizabeth Foss, and his pastoral counselor, Rocky Shoemaker, who intended to forward the contents of the troll's plot to a detective at their local police department. On July 22nd, Jackie emailed Chris after she had allegedly infiltrated the Inner Troll's private IRC conversation and linked to him a record of their chat. She urged him to make the introduction video and ruin the troll's plans from the inside, emphasizing that clearing this baggage would ease both of their minds so they could confidently start a relationship together. 2 days later, Christian found a way to get back onto Flipnote Hatena by unlinking his old banned account from his Nintendo DSi and created a new account in its place with the name Christian C and re-uploaded all of his previous Flipnotes. 2 days later, all of his animations that were previously flagged and banned had disappeared from his account. He soon after re-uploaded them again, and for some reason were not taken down. On July 26th, Christian went to his local Goodwill store to film his Jenkins Jinkies video. He attempted to disguise himself by placing a blue t-shirt over his head and altering his voice, though his sports bra could be clearly seen through.
Stellar disguise, Chris. Stellar. Absolutely brilliant. No one... No one will suspect a thing. It's like he's not there, is he?
Through his clothing.
For Floyd Cash and use on the quick key. I hate Christian Western Chevy because.
But oh my god, I never realized this before, but look at the friggin' width of him. Look how fat he is. Jackie is gonna friggin' get on his case again about exercise, but I don't particularly think she cares that much either. But Jesus Christ, that looks. Oh, I feel like I'm getting cholesterol now just like looking at this.
He is a lazy slob. The money is wasted on him. He doesn't have to work for this money. Damn him. And also, he is unfriendly to us males. He should be friendly to his males.
His speech is absolutely the same. Chris, even if you were, despite the whole bra thing, nobody...
really ticks me off.
Yep, it's definitely him.
Anyway, I have been touring him. I sent him nice emails in the beginning when I started reading the comics. And then he did not reply. So then I sent him a bunch of curses. I did not pretend to be, a whole bunch of other companies like such. Obviously, delete my emails, but that's beside the point. Anyway, I pledge my allegiance to Floyd Cash and everybody else in the quick key. I'll get the information on Christian Western Chamber. I'm sorry I have been taking so long in doing this, but I was just getting settled into my new home across the street from his house. Black sheep of the family. They live in the house, and they promised not to tell my family back up in Boston. And of course, also I have trolled him. I found him over at the Burger King on the way back to Boston from South Virginia. As I have created the famous Burger King page.
It's not that famous.
The following day, the official forum for the Inner Circle of Trolls, Trolling Train, was created, and Jenkins Jinkies was invited to join. He soon made his first post on the forum, introducing himself and offering an elaborate backstory establishing his upbringing. My real name is Junior Jenkins. Scooby-Doo was the inspiration behind the Jinkies. LOL! I had a birthday recently on the 16th of July, so now I'm 15. I couldn't celebrate it with my friends like I would have wanted to, because I was hitchhiking my way to Ruckersville from Boston. I'm crashing at a house where I have some relatives there. They're the fucking black sheep of the family, and they're not close within the same house. It is cool, because they won't rat me out to my parents and siblings, like I need another damn minute with those assholes who overlook me. And the better part, their house is across the street from Chrissy's house. Sadly though, the blinds to his bedroom are always closed, but I still get some sights of him and the family out of their house. I've arrived at my new home a few days ago on the 20th. I'll be spending my sophomore year and so on in Greene County's high school. I promised I'd write to my gal back in Boston, but what happens here she doesn't have to know. I'll have to make some new friends come September, but I'll be cool. I'm a stud. I'll also miss my favorite duo of dudes, Jerry and Dino. They taught me the ropes of high school life. They both were 16. I looked up to them like I would have for my older sister if she wasn't such a fucking cunt. They were a gay couple, and they respected me as a friend only. I made it my final realization I was not gay with the help of Jerry and my girlfriend, Lisa. Sweet little whore took me in with gratitude on my 14th birthday. She had a few exes from middle school, and her mom was a bondage queen. Before then, I had a gay experience in summer camp when I was 7. My bunkmates were experimenting, and made me their mofo unwilling guinea pig. I was blindfolded during the whole thing, feeling an 8-year-old's dick up my ass. I was not thrilled from the ordeal, but last January, I became curious from the recalling of the feeling, so I asked Jerry to show me a night. At first it was neutral, then he made out with me.
Okay, first the thing about cholesterol, now I'm feeling quite sick. The fact that Chris has now tried to roleplay about a story about him getting fucked up the ass when he was 7. Even though this didn't happen, but this is still explicitly showing child pornography, which... I'm gonna start suspecting now that apparently the Inner Circle trolls, they knew all along. They just wanted to see how far Chris would take this Jinkies persona, which... Even if, let's say that wasn't the case and they believed Jinkies, that's still very, very strange to say that he lost his virginity at 7. That's...
His breath was minty with a hint of garlic from something he ate. It was cool with me. Then he told me to suck his dick, and I did. The taste and sight did not thrill me, and he sucked mine. He got a rise out of me, but then I started to feel uneasy. It was minor at first, and I promised myself I'd see this through. Finally, he was in me doggy style. As he humped me, I was feeling it both in my penis and in my gut, worsening as he went on. And eventually, I embarrassed myself grossly. I came and fucking threw up simultaneously. Jerry had not come yet himself, and out of respect, he withdrew himself and asked me if I was okay. He cleaned me and my mess on his floor up. I felt so damn ashamed, but Jerry was kind and understanding to me. And it was then I confirmed it for myself that I was not gay, and Jerry and Dino agreed with me. So with that, I was able to move forward feeling more confident in my orientation. Anyway, after moving here, I've studied the times of exit and entries from the Chandler Chateau, looking for a pattern. There was definitely one with Robert, morning for breakfast at BK, and afternoon outings to IDK wear. Barbara appears to come out mostly either in the afternoon or night, sometimes in the mornings. And Chris has no set pattern as far as I can tell yet, but I'll post new stuff as I learn them, some with, hopefully embarrassing photographs of Chris as I learn and take. Smell you later, Junior Jenkins Jinkies. Christian wrote to Jackie about his Jinkies escapades, and since she learned of the troll persona's sexual antics, she asked of Chris's fantasies, revealing that she was keen on experiencing anal sex. I've had the question of sexual fantasies posed to me before, and there are a few. One is having sex in a swimming pool.
Guys, I don't know if I feel tired or if I feel sick. I sure don't even know if it's a good idea for me to continue. Maybe I should just, like, stop and then we can resume this tomorrow morning. No, screw it, we'll continue.
Pool to emulate a dream I had of being lost in a water-filled labyrinth where I was intercepted by a woman, and we made out and had sex. I'm game for anal sex, as long as you're my partner, and you wore a strap-on or used a butt plug in me, as long as it is not penis-shaped. I also would like oral sex, swing set, pole dancing, me, you, or both at once, three-way, with 2 women, roleplay, and others I can't remember right now. Feel free to suggest other sex play topics, and I'll let you know if it's cool with me or not. It's no problem, we're not having sex yet, so we can talk about it freely. You and I are close, metaphorically, until we meet in person when we'll be a lot closer, semicolon close parentheses. You turn me on with your kindness and understanding, and your pretty self adds well to it. I want to kiss you, Jackie. For now, it's a compliment, but don't hold back when after we hang out for a while and you want to kiss me too. In a later email, Chris complained that due to his parents' ages, they were too overprotective of him, so he felt that having a girlfriend would allow him to stay away from his parents' reach for longer. He also elaborated on his SSDI payments, or what he dubbed the tugboat. I use the term tugboat in reference to the expression, "our ship has come in," which is in reference to a huge amount of money coming your way. The ship is defined normally as a luxury cruise ship, yet it can either come in without trouble, or more likely sink and fail. A tugboat is more reliable, and it comes in at a scheduled time per trip. A tugboat is less likely to sink, because it is built more durably than a cruise ship. And that is why I call my monthly SSI income my monthly tugboat. He revealed that out of his monthly income of $820, he paid $480 to Bob for rent, and another $100 to help pay off his credit card debts. Out of the remaining $240, which he was free to use as he wished, $17 went to game rental service GameFly, $11 to movie and TV streaming service Netflix, $50 to pay off a new credit card which he received without informing his parents, and he bought himself a new PlayStation Network gift card worth $50 every month. In addition, he let her know that he applied for a part-time job at his local Walmart, which would allow him to make extra money while keeping his tugboat intact. Jackie instead insisted that he push for a full-time position and get rid of his tugboat altogether. She greatly emphasized that he had no need to possess the over 400 games he had across all of his consoles, and strongly suggested that he sell them. He was shocked at her harsh tone, but appreciated how concerned she was about his living situation. Listening to her advice, in early August, Christian traded in 18 games at the game retailer GameStop in exchange for $50 store credit, which he set aside to reserve the upcoming game Little Big Planet 2, Collector's Edition. Upon hearing this, Jackie was understandably upset with him, since he failed to understand that the reason for cashing in his games was an attempt to kick his gaming addiction. Chris stated that he intended to sell more games for cash later on. On August 3rd, Trolls attempted to drain his savings account. The payment was rejected, but nevertheless, Chris had to pay $35 as a return fee. He then found the courage to inform his parents about his secret credit card. I have informed my mother about the credit card first. She is more calm than Dad is. I have asked her to relay the news to him. I feel if I do it myself right off, he'll not only get super angry and raise his voice to loud shouts, but it would just put me into a state where I may as well be lying cowardly on the floor in the fetal position. This way, he gets—
Maybe you need to stop getting in the fetal position mindset, Chris, and take... Does he not understand how this is not making his life better? Does he really not have any idea about why getting in this much debt? He just doesn't. I don't think he's got any idea, does he?
Gets his anger out into the air only. Mom would leave the room during the time, and he'll have time to recover and calm down before confronting me about it, not as loudly. My father's currently monitoring my bank account. He asks for a bi-daily printout of the current online statement information and any pending transactions.
Ugh.
Your suggestions of having him lock up my console for a week and such have been noted into my memory. I'm not saying it is a bad idea, I'm just not comfortable with it. Bob took extra measures to manage Christian's spending habits, which Chris mistook for a scheme to outsmart the trolls. Christian then pawned off another 36 games for a return of $42, of which 10 he deposited into his bank, and the rest he kept for himself, outside of Bob's sphere of influence. Jackie then encouraged Chris to draw them having sex together in a very specific scenario. You know, you described your fantasy about having sex in the pool in the guy's locker room. I'd love to make it a reality. Can you show me a preview by drawing us together in a pool? We would just be tearing at each other, but then we get caught. A bunch of guys come in surrounding the pool and just stare at us, but we're so enamored with each other, making such passionate love, that we just don't care and we keep going, and then all the guys get turned on by watching us and they start jacking themselves off into the pool. Circle jerking is such a huge fantasy of mine. Do you think you could draw something like that for me? Oh Chris, I'm so hot right now. I feel like I could squirt. I look forward to hearing from you. Chris showed great hesitation to complete the drawing, mostly due to the request of having to include masturbating men.
Oh right, that's
On August
why.
10th, Alec Benson Leary called the Chandler household, posing as fictitious Gameplace employee Matthew Nobles.
Hello, is this Robert Chandler?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Matthew Nobles. I think you just tried to call me back. I left you a message.
Yes. What's your problem?
Well, actually, I wanted to talk to you about something. I'm an employee at the Game Place. I apologize for calling you so long after the incident occurred, but given your son's continued harassment of our store, I felt we needed to speak to you.
Place now. This place downtown, by the Omni?
Correct.
Okay. What's the problem?
Well, I'm sure you're aware of the little incident your son, Christian, had when he came to our store early in June.
I didn't know
when he attempted to get
early in June.
Oh,
no. You
no.
were unaware?
Yeah, I knew that he had a lot of problems with you people several years ago.
Well,
when you
what
basically
happened was
kicked him out and everything else for no reason of his own, and his mother and everybody else. I don't really like your place. Now, I didn't know he'd been there in June. Now, tell me about this.
Well, basically what happened was he came in, he wanted to speak to our manager, Mike, about getting himself unbanned. Mike refused to speak with him about the matter.
That threw him out. Mike's been persecuting him for years, and I don't like Mike. This whole thing was
sir, the point is
in the very beginning with my son. Now, I didn't like it then, and I still don't like it. Now, what happened in June?
Sir, well, after he left, when he couldn't get himself unbanned, he came back several days later and was taking pictures of people in the store.
Well, that's not illegal.
One of the patrons, some people felt that he was threatening them, to be honest. Mike was there, and he became angry and called the police because your son was trespassing.
Well, he hadn't told him he didn't come in there. It's a business place. Now, Mike and Megan are the ones that conspired together with a couple of other people, kids there I think were gay, to persecute and torment Christian for years.
Okay, I don't like Mike. I'd like to talk to the owner of the store. I could really fill him about the people he employs there. Okay, I could tell
Sir.
him a lot.
Well, regardless of that, sir, I don't know about any of that. All I know is that your son
regardless
was
of that,
banned
that
from the
all
store and he
figures into
trespassed.
this stuff. It certainly should.
Sir, I called to inform you that even though the police came and made your son sign a trespassing notice, that he continued to harass our store online.
People are harassing him from all over the world. Let me tell you something, fella. You know what some damn crazy fools that I think started at your store with Megan and Mike and 2 or 3 more? You know what they just did a week ago? They just broke into his checking account, got his checking account numbers and routing numbers. They broke into his Best Buy MasterCard number, and they stole his ID and all of his password information. They went into that Best Buy checking account, trying to ruin his credit, and made a payoff on a check that had no funds in the checking account, which got him a whole bunch of non-sufficient fund fees. Now, this all transpired a week ago. Now, I'm not going to listen to your petty stuff, okay? You have people, including Mike, and I could tell you 2 more names, but I can't think of them right now, but the third one is Megan, and I'm sure you've heard of Megan or know Megan right there in the store.
I've heard about Megan.
Yeah,
Sir, I don't understand why
they're
you're
the
not
people that
concerned
are
about your son
terrorizing
trespassing.
Christians. They're the people that are terrorizing Christians, okay?
Sir, the game place didn't break into his bank accounts. I don't know why you're telling me about this.
Well, we think that people that come to your place do, and including one of your employees named
We
Mike.
don't control all our customers.
Now, if you would like to have me talk to your owner, I would be glad to, and my wife would be glad to go to a meeting with him about your place and how it's corrupting the whole neighborhood.
I kind of
Oh,
doubt that Mike
still.
himself is the guy who broke into your son's account. Sir, your son was banned from the store, and
Fine,
he
send us
came
a
back
letter.
and
Send us a
told
letter.
his man.
Send me a letter, sir. Okay? I don't know who you are. Do you work for the store?
Well, I know that. Yes, I
Do
do.
you
sir.
work for the store? Okay. What is your position at the game place?
I'm an employee there, sir. I'm a supervisor.
Now, will you tell me the owner's name, or do I have to subpoena it?
Sir, look, I'm getting a little tired of this, sir. I just called to inform you that your son
Well,
trespassed.
sir,
and
I'm
continued
getting
to
a little
harass him.
tired of your place. Okay? I don't want to be harassed by
Fair
your
enough.
place. You
We
left
don't
me a
like your son harassing us.
threatening message. How do you spell your last
Nobles,
name?
N-O. Sir, I feel that it was irresponsible of us not to inform Christian's parents. That's what I called, to inform you about his trespassing.
Well, just wait a minute.
I wasn't there the initial time years ago when he was banned, sir. All I know is I was there.
N-O-B-E-L or N-O-B-L-E?
Sir,
Sir, how do you spell your last name?
you've been yelling at me this entire time, sir. I don't feel like, frankly, giving you my
Just
name.
spell your name and I won't yell at you.
That's a rather silly requirement, sir.
He's not yelling
I'm
at
just
you.
trying to talk. I left you.
Spell your last
He has been
name.
yelling.
Spell your last name.
Oh
Hey,
no, it's
who are
Snorlax.
I've already given my name.
You have not? What is your first name? Noble is his last name. I don't know how he spells it. What is it that you want? Because it sounds like you're looking to try to harass us and get something out of us, and we don't want nothing to do with you. What's the gameplay? Because you I don't know whether you work at the game place or not. I can't see you. I'm not down there. And you're
3 days later, a brief article about Christian Chandler was written on Wikipedia. The following day, it was slated for deletion and was removed from the site the same day. On August 20th, Chris sent Jackie his drawing of the 2 of them having sex in a swimming pool, with no sign of him showing intention of drawing her fantasy consisting of men masturbating to the pair. He also introduced to her his intentions of forcing into fruition a 10-year reunion of his high school class. I'm going to really push for my Manchester High School class of 2000 reunion today and this week. I'm going to get in contact with the principal, same dude, thank God, and insist on getting the person who put together the Say No Prom to put the promised reunion together. I know it was promised, because at the end of the slideshow they had at the prom, it had a huge message stating, "See you at the reunion in 10 years." I'm no longer going to take the insubordination and belaboring to no promise-keeping sitting down anymore. Jackie encouraged him to organize the reunion himself, since he had a lot of free time. Chris declined the offer for he had no experience in dealing with such things, and was not confident in his leadership abilities. Jackie then suggested that he film a video bringing attention to the reunion and asking for help, with the first draft solely meant for her, so that she could critique it and instruct him how to make a better video meant for public viewing. On August 22nd, encouraged by Bob, Christian returned to the trolling train forum as Jenkins Jinkies, giving a falsified account of a recent trolling. I made a call to their house and pretended to be a fan of Sonichu. Bob was bored, I guess, and he talked to me. After mentioning the trolls, Bob said to me, "Sissies that hide behind screen names and the internet are the biggest bunch of cowards and the scum of the earth. They are afraid to come out one-on-one, face-to-face. They would hide behind their mother's skirts." Then he directed to one of our own he found out somehow. Females...
Gee, it's like his phrasing there is becoming very, very similar to one another. I wonder what that could mean.
...are the worst, such as Miranda Enjoy the Big Pickle Cosgrove. That surprised me greatly, but in defense for you, Miranda, Bob would be of no match against you. Then Bobby said, "Meet me in person at Burger King in Ruckersville any day, between 9:30 and 10:30 a.m., and I will talk to you and your friends and answer your questions. Christian and I are not afraid and have nothing to hide. We are simple and above board." We chatted some more, and then he hung up. On August 24th, Chris made and then sent his prototype video addressing his high school reunion to Jackie. She reviewed it, and then sent some critiques to him via email. She suggested that he exaggerate his physical gestures and facial expressions to help make his appeal more emotive. She also advised him to address the trolls directly, since they would probably be watching his video anyway, and have him gleefully announce that they would not get to him. Finally, Jackie asked Chris to use the Sonichu comics as a way to reconnect with his former classmates. He agreed to follow her suggestions and make a new video. In addition, he revealed that he sent a letter to Sony, linking to the trolling train and their nefarious schemes to plant viruses on games and downloadable content that Chris might purchase. After trolls found out about it, some members of the forum apparently got scared by Christian. Jenkins Jinkies contributed to the discussion. "Chris found this forum? I agree with you, Miranda. What if Chris doesn't download our virus at all? He's reading our plans. He may just boycott downloading anything new from Mod Nation or Little Fuck Planet. And even if Sony doesn't read what he wrote, they are aware of our shit as well. I tell ya, he ain't hiding. He's snitching on us for the fucking good of every lazy fuck on the PSN. Antiviruses can be put into any next update now. Plus, Chris may come out of hiding and make a video to put the close on our fucking repeated death rumor. And I've noticed something else. With my laptop, I managed to use a bit of his Wi-Fi. It goes all around his yard. It disappears nightly and sometimes daily. He's unplugging his internet, keeping us out. I have to hand it to him. He makes it frustrating to troll him. It's like we have to pay airfare or hitchhike dangerously and do it old-fashioned with accordion cameras and shit like that."
And
Christian then read about a plot in which trolls plan to dig his dog Patty out of her grave in the Chandler's backyard. Jinkies then chimed in, quelling their trollsome cravings. I personally took a closer look at Patty's grave. It is harder to break into than Fort fucking Knox. The body is buried deep underground with cement blocks covering the site, and her heavy doghouse is on top of those cement blocks. I wouldn't be surprised if they cemented her grave.
It went back to freaking calling his doghouse heavy again. Chris, you friggin' never cease to amaze me how freaking weak you are compared to a 30-pound doghouse.
As well. Also,
Never.
the site is heavily surrounded by trees and heavy branches. It's like deepest in the mine shaft with cave-ins happening all the time. Thinking that this revelation wasn't enough to dissuade the trolls from canine grave robbing, Jinkies posted another story in which he went back to the Chandler's estate in the middle of the night and was threatened by the ghosts of an 8-year-old Christopher Weston Chandler and Patty the dog, believing the trolls would be wary of approaching his house if they thought it was haunted. On August 27th, Chris published his refined video asking for a high school reunion, his first official YouTube video in nearly 3 months.
Wow.
Hello. I am well known on the internet, sadly. I'm Christian Weston Chandler of Ruckersville, Virginia. I was a Manchester High School student, graduated class of 2000. And I am looking into having the reunion, or putting it together, because I have not heard from anyone about it.
not even from the principal of Manchester High. Of which, so with that, I am looking out. I am looking out to everyone, to my class 2000 classmates. We know who you are, and I know who you are. Got your names in the yearbook, senior yearbook in my class. I have been looking forward to this reunion since the senior prom, where at the end of that slideshow it said, "See you in 10 years for a reunion." Reunion hasn't happened yet, and it has to happen. It was basically promised.
Oh boy.
Not only to me, but to everybody who was at that prom. So this reunion has to happen, and I'm going to start it by reaching out to my classmates. And also, it would be helpful if I can also get in contact with those that have put together the senior prom back in 2000.
He then asks for his former classmates and organizers of the prom to contact him personally and recites his home address and phone number.
Oh my god, really? You did that?
False identities will be discarded. So be sure you leave your message. Telling us your name, where you are right now, and your contact information. Basically your phone number. I will not accept email contacts.
Why not, Chris? That sounds like the most basic.
Because of basis of the trolls, of which that brings up my other topic that I would like to address as well.
His home address.
Cyberbullying and trolling. It's all not cool, because you're just basically mocking and terrorizing innocent people. It's not good. It's not cool. Not cool. You don't want to be a bully like those who have picked on you in any school, regardless of whether it was kindergarten, middle, elementary, high.
Why are you going to say hot
We've
there
all
for a
had our
second?
bullies in real life. Don't be a bully yourself. I urge you to not cyberbully or troll anyone.
That's a mutated oddish baby,
And
not
also,
a bully.
if you suspect anybody, any close friends, any neighbors, anybody within your working facilities, even at such companies like Sony Computer Entertainment America or Nintendo of America, there may be a troll trolling somebody like me within the office. I urge you to do the checks and report them, fire their asses. With your help, we could put...
You know what? I never thought I would say this, but I actually think Chris is kind of onto something when he said that. About bullying within the workplace. I think, in all seriousness, because depending on environment, that sort of thing is very, very common, unfortunately. And I agree, actually, you know what? There's something that should be said about standards and practices within the workplace in which, you can't just say and do whatever you can because they'll find a ways to replace you. They will do that. That's fascinating. That really is.
Bust on trolling and cyberbullying. It's not good to leave it the way it is. We need to take these criminals down.
Well, criminals is a bit...
For what they are doing, God will smite them. He knows it. He knows you're doing it, you damn trolls. And I know. I'm laughing at you right now. Oh, hey, here's a fun little joke. So I walk into a Burger King, and I says to the female long-haired employee with the pink shirt, "Am I fat?" "No." "Chris is fat." Not cool.
Not funny.
You will be found in person. And I will give you a piece of my mind. Not physical violence.
Nothing at the moment.
You trolls are going down. And with the help of all the good people who agree with me that trolling is not cool and would never dare to troll anybody or bully anybody, in real life, I urge you to report any suspicious people to your local police department or Crime Stoppers. Also, some tips. Keep all your information, your personal information, off of the internet.
Well, learning from
You do not want
experience, but
anybody to be laughing behind your back of something that should be remain private. And naked photos is no good either. Definitely not. So keep all private information to yourselves.
right, okay, sure.
Also, don't trust too many people on the internet unless you actually know that person in real life and you trust that person. Then I can say it's okay to trust that person over the internet. But be wary of most everybody else.
Barely English, but okay.
We're the Troll Busters. And together, we will work worldwide to put a stop to trolling and cyberbullying. Yeah.
Anything else?
Class 2000 reunion. It has to happen, and I need the help of my classmates. And the people...
He just freaking went off subject just to talk about trolling and completely forget about what he was actually trying to say about his reunion. Fucking A quiz, top notch.
Put together senior prom. Call me